The Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Both National Party speakers so far seem to have lost track of time. They've certainly missed the last week. Not one reference to the local body elections. Now, we know in history that Tories, particularly in the UK, many a Tory loves a good thrashing. just not in public. But last weekend, they were thrashed publicly, sir, by voters across New Zealand. And I think it's true that National has been truly humiliated publicly, and they hate it. And their arrogant response, particularly on Sunday and Monday, just showed how much scorn they have for the voters who voted them out and their opponents in. Now, National, they lost badly in the big cities. They lost badly in the regions. They lost in the south, in Dunedin, in Christchurch. They lost in the north, in Wairarapa, in Wellington, in Wanganui, in Rotorua. And in Auckland, John Key's hometown, they were truly humiliated. So bad that John Key heartlessly, on Monday, denied the parentage of Auckland Futures. Did anyone else hear him on national radio? It was shocking. He cut off his Auckland arm. He denied he knew about it. This is the man who was there present by video link at the launch. His ministers were behind the push at Auckland Futures. It's run by the National Party former president, Michelle Bogue. And what happened? Humiliated. You know, the only person elected for Auckland Futures was a rebranded existing councillor. They had the ambition of winning mayor and taking a majority of council. They got slammed by Phil Goff and they went backwards on the council. Now, what was their response? Well, having lost numbers, what did they do? They turned around and they effectively criticised the voters and told them they got it wrong, and told Phil Goff, adopt our policies to cure the housing crisis in Auckland that they deny, and gridlock. Now, why would any politician with half a brain follow the National Party to the dead end of million-dollar house prices, people living in cars, pensioners in camping grounds, and gridlock in Auckland? But that has been their message to Auckland voters and councillors since the election. You know, the arrogance of this is not just the voters telling them that, it's the CEOs in the mood of the boardroom. They say they've got a housing crisis in Auckland and it's adversely affecting their business, so's gridlock. We've had Michael Stiasny, a very senior director, saying that in Vector they're losing staff when teachers and nurses can't afford to live in Auckland, then the city's going backwards and it's unsustainable. And still the National Party, 8 years into their government, makes excuses, denies that they have caused the crisis, which they have, denies responsibility for the crisis, which they have, and denies that there is a crisis, which is still their line. Mr. Speaker, the truth is that some of those commentators following the local authority elections, they quite rightly say these are not national elections, not national government elections. I agree, they're not. They are not a predictor of the outcome of the next election. But they are not good news for the government. And some of them seem to have swallowed the snake oil parleyed by the National Party, that being humiliated in local elections is somehow good news and a harbinger of better things to come. Mr. Speaker, the truth is that National are around 45% in the polls. You look at the polls and that's where they are. Some have them as low as 40, some of them have them around 47. The Greens and Labor together are around 45. We're around 33, the Greens are around 12. Even you should be able to add 33 plus 12 equals 44. The New Zealand First and Winston are on the rise, and they're already at about 10. Now, that is why National is panicking. That is why, having been humiliated in Auckland, their own organisation has been treated like a gangrene-ridden, festering pustule and cut off. I think that's a rather tough treatment of Michelle Bogue, but others might disagree.
Mr.